in my hair. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I hadn't brushed my hair. So I just had to quickly rush and get it done. Just need to clean my glasses so I can read what's going on. And I've got a list of questions on this screen over here from people who have asked me questions over on Facebook. So I'm going to answer them here in due course. Just give me a little while just to sort myself. I'm a little bit rushed today. Callie's been a bit lazy. Supposed to tidy up this afternoon at like 2 o'clock, but then I started watching this series about Japan on Netflix. It's really interesting, and I kind of got absorbed into it, and before I realized it was like 4 o'clock, and I was like, oh, I think it's in my room. Oops. Because all this magic back here, this doesn't happen. I have to do this myself. I have to clean. So while you're waiting for me, feel free to start chatting away, ask me questions, say hello, whatever. I see there's 3 people watching, so just drop a little comment, say hi, if you're able to, of course. And you could be watching this on like your console at home, and you can't really comment on the consoles. So. On your phones though, you can comment on your phones. Bear that in mind, people. Oh, please, no, my glasses are filthy. Right then. Oh. Righty-ho then. Right. So, as the title says, this is going to be a sort of question and answer kind of thing like I did a fortnight ago. And it's also kind of me doing like a little bit of a channel update, because those of you who know me know that I was on, a nice little schedule, 3 videos a week. For the past couple of weeks, I've been a little bit lax on that. I kind of want to explain why. I did so a little bit on my last live. There were certain things going on with me, and blah 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 blah. But today, I really want to kind of like just clear up like why I haven't been consistent with my uploads, why I haven't really interacted with people very much. But first up, we're going to get to some questions. Now, obviously, me being a collector's channel and also transgender, people have kind of asked a very mixed kind of bag of questions, things that correlate to both, really. Some people have asked questions that cross over with other people's questions. So if I answer a question that sounds like it was your question, chances are you asked something similar to the person that I actually quote. So we'll get on with it. All right, let's have a look then. This comes from my friend Rain Okami. She said, I'll answer her first 3 questions and I'll move on to somebody else. Right. Actually, no, I'll do it one at a time. Sorry. Right. Okay. What 5 tips could you give an aspiring collector? Okay, right. Well, tip 1 for definite is only collect lines that you have an invested interest in. Don't collect something because it's popular or you've seen it on YouTube and it looks cool. Lots of toys look cool and lots of figures look cool. You don't have to buy them all, you know. So that's tip number 1. Limit your lines. Only collect things that you really are interested in and things that when you look on the shelf, they kind of hit that little nostalgia. Like for me, I collect Marvel, DC, Aliens, Predator, and then I have kind of a mix mash. Like that's kind of how the orders of my shelves go. You know, I've got I'm Transformers as well. That's another one. Now, kind of stick to lines that invoke kind of that nostalgia kind of beat for you. That's one of my big suggestions. Is if money and space is definitely a collector's kind of thing they have to play with. Is do I have space for it? Can I afford it? Can I afford it? And do I have space for it? So you gotta go with that. So definitely 1, limit your lines. 2, budget for it if you need to. If there's a big thing coming out that's going to cost you a lot of money, save up for it and then buy it. Don't skint yourself out and then have to sell it to get things like food. I've had that. I had a collection years and years ago, and unfortunately, due to being on benefits, having a bit of a drug problem, I sold pretty much all of it for pennies for what compared to what it's worth now. So definitely budget for it. It's hard to think of 5 things really. When seeking out grail items, stay within your budget. Don't go over. I looked for years for I sold it on now, but I for years I looked for a Power Rangers Megazord, the original one. And the only thing I could find when I looked online on places like Amazon was the reissue ones they did, which were kind of re-engineered and things worked a little bit different. They weren't quite the same, but people were asking like 650 quid for it, and I was like, what? So then I looked on the secondary market for like, pre-owned ones, and I found that complete ones went for 80, 90 quid, which, it's still a lot of money, but it's not 650 quid's worth of a lot of money, especially considering when, like now, you've got Hasbro bringing out the Unicron from Transformers, the biggest Transformer they've ever done. That's only like 680 something pounds, and that's like 3 or 4 times the size. That thing's huge. So right. I hope that kind of answers your question. It's difficult to kind of think of 5 things, but I'd say that kind of covers the basics. Definitely limit your lines, stick to a budget, definitely have shelving space if you're an out-of-box collector like myself, to have them, stored and whatnot. This one, apparently the live chat is working. Nobody's saying anything. I'm just waffling for a bit. But yeah, that's pretty much it, Rain. Best I can do for you right now. Let's put this like this. Is like, oh shit. No, now I look yellow, and I look like a Simpson. So no, that's staying off. I need to get a different bulb for that. Anyway, moving on. Right, let's see down here. Right. Tony Shilton asks, what's your favourite brand for figures and why? Favourite brand for figures? Do you mean like, if you're watching this, Tony, I think I'm interpreting this as in like which company, as in Hasbro and things like that. I again, that's a bit of a tricky question because it depends what you're after. If you're after like a Marvel Legends style figure, you know, not, I wouldn't say cheap, but you know, within the lower end of the figure market, quite easily, you know, get hold of them in lots of different places. You know, they're always well stocked. They come with a lot of accessories. The paintwork's usually quite good. And, you know, they're getting better. There's times going on Marvel Legends have got better. So if you're looking for something like that, yeah, Hasbro. They're the best ones at that kind of, you know, £20 to £25 price tag figure. That's for Marvel Legends, though. If you're looking at something like the Fortnite figures, which I've seen, those are quite popular. I mean, they're not something I would get, but they are quite popular. McFarlane and Jazzwares apparently seem to be the two go-to for them. Jazzwares more than McFarlane, though. McFarlane's kind of really clamping down on DC, or rather, he's but fucking Batman so fucking hard that, you know, we've had 10 Batmans in a year and a half, and like 3 or 4 other variants of different characters. So that's just my view on McFarlane with their DC license. It's like, okay, we get it. You like Batman. Batman's the flagship character, but you've got hundreds of others you can choose from, and yet you're sticking with the Caped Crusader. Okay, Todd. Well, you go in your corner. We'll carry on the conversation over here, okay? Bye, Todd. But that's just my view. That's just my view. I'd say for me, my always go-to for any kind of figure when they release a line, especially this week with the Gargoyles announcement. Oh, I fangirled so hard at that. Oh my good God. I'm getting hot just thinking about that one. Holy hell. When that was announced, wow, NECA for me, hands fucking down, are the best company at the moment. For the price point you pay, £30 to £40, depending on where you go to for it. You know, the sculpt is fantastic. The paint is fantastic. Everything is absolutely goddamn awesome. So, right. Okay. Let's go to Fiona J. Fletcher over on Facebook. What made stable? Hold on. Where is it? I've left my phone in the front room and the Wi-Fi is on the phone. There is not a lot I can do about that right now. Sorry. Anyway, back to what I was saying. What made you want to start a collectibles business? Right. Basically, I was unemployed. I didn't have a lot of money. Had more than what I'd had in previous years. And I was at a kind of strange period in my life. I was signed off sick on depression and anxiety. I very, very rarely left the house. If I did, it was like full-on panic mode, like taking my daughter to school, going to the shop. That was about it for me. That wiped me out for the day. Like, the thought of going outside of that was like, no, can't do it. Just, no, shut down. So I spent a lot of time just watching films, and I went back onto the Predator franchise. And, you know, I've been a fan for years, on and off, and things have been quiet for a while, Predator-wise. I mean, we were looking at like, what, 2013, 2014. It'd been 3 or 4 years since the last film, Predators, the Robert Rodriguez thingy, that one. It'd been a couple of years, and it was just like, there's not really much happening with Predator. And I started watching the films again and everything, and I was like, I remember having toys when I was a kid. Can I find some? Can I see if there's any out there? So I had a quick look on eBay, and I found a Predator figure, and I fell in love with it. I was like, wow, I've never seen one like that before. So I bought it. It was only 16 quid off eBay. I was like, yes, whatever. It's quite an older NECA figure by that point. But it opened the door to like this world of collectibles that I hadn't really realized was out there. I mean, I knew collectibles were a thing from like, you know, my teen years. But I didn't realize that like it not only was still going, but it was like chugging along at a very solid pace. It was like, wow, okay. And the more I got into it, the more I started like buying collectibles like on recommendations from videos and things that I'd seen. And I was like, I wonder if I could do something similar. I wonder if I could start a business with this, like buy them in cheap and then sell them on at like a little bit of profit. Not much. I'm not ripping people off. You know, sort of, it takes the hassle out for them. You know, they tell me what they're after. I do all the legwork, and they're basically just paying me what they would have paid plus a small commission on top. And that was kind of how it started, slowly kind of snowballed from there. I was like, okay. And I ran that business with my wife. Yes, I was married. Not anymore. I'm a single Pringle now. But yeah, I ran that business with my wife for up until about COVID, actually. Even kind of during our separation, we still kind of ran the business together. You know, we still, you know, the money went through her PayPal account and things like that. You know, she would do sort of the addresses and everything. I would post the parcels. I would order the stock in. She would help me order the stock in if I was, you know, like I don't know what to get. She would help. So you know, we ran it together. So yeah, that was pretty much it. It was just kind of like, let's see if I can do this. And it started slow, very, very slow, and it gained a bit of traction. Then obviously with COVID and everything, I had to shut down for a bit. I'm slowly going to try and get back into it, but obviously we're not having money to put into stock at the moment. There's not a lot I can do. I can order in single items, but that's more expensive, and that's another whole conversation for another day. So, right. Back up to Rain. What made you stuck? I kind of answered that one with the business one. Like, you know, I started collecting properly, like as much as I have done now recently. With, you know, it went hand in hand with the business, so that kind of answers that question. What do you plan on collecting next? Gargoyles. a lot of fucking gargoyles from NECA. Apparently, the line that they are fully invested in. It's not like we're getting the whole team at hoping maybe one day that they'll do like a box set with like the main heroes and then a box set with the main villains, much like they did with the Ninja Turtles line. They did something similar with that. They did like the 4 turtles together, and then they did like Splinter, Shredder, and 2 foot soldiers. I'd love to see them do something like that with the gargoyles. That would be just amazing, amazing, amazing. Let me just share this, see if we can get some more people viewing. So I've only got one person watching so far. Just share that over on Facebook. Give me 2 seconds. Right, there we go. Close that down. Right. Okay, that's Rain's questions. These 2 questions kind of go together, Rain. How do you know if you're getting a good deal? What should you look out for? Right. This question's very, very subjective. It all depends on what you are buying. Basically, if it's a retro collectible, sort of 70s, 80s, 90s, even early 2000s stuff now, is kind of becoming more and more of a collector's thing. You know, companies like Hasbro are doing reissue on the real Ghostbusters action figures, which I think kind of cheapens the original ones some bit. But that's just me. That's just my view. I don't know anybody else's view. But yeah, if you're looking for like a retro collectible, look, we'll stick with Ghostbusters. If you're looking for, say, the original Ecto one in the box, and somebody's asking a really low price for it, like 50 quid, all right? The thing you got to start asking yourself straight away is, if he's charging that much, what condition is it in? Because to find one that cheap, it's not very likely. Right, okay. No one said anything in the live chat, I don't think. Nothing's come up for me anyway, so. No. Okie dokie then. Expand the no, don't want to do that. No, sorry, I got lost there. What was I talking about? Yeah, Ghostbusters. Yeah, if you're looking at a retro collectible, like an Ecto one, if it's that cheap, if you can't see it in hand, like it's just pictures, you're going to have to ask for pictures from every angle. Like, you know, if the box is open but it's still got the original box, it's like, okay, can I have a picture of all sides of the box? Can I have a picture of all sides of the car? You know, even the underneath. You know, because for that cheap of a price, you want to double check you're getting something that isn't fucked up. Quite frankly. So, right. So yeah, just you really got to watch out for like wear, tear, damage, things like that. But again, it really all depends on what you're looking to buy and the price you're looking to pay for it. I mean, I bought this Marvel Legends Apocalypse Builder figure from the original Toy Biz Marvel Legend, like big fucking thing, about this big. And on the item description, it said glue mark on back, see picture. So I flipped through the pictures, and sure enough, there was a glue mark on the arse. Now, I thought maybe like it got spilled on there by accident, because it didn't mention anything about anything being broken on the figure, anything being repaired. It didn't say anything about that. But when I got it out of packaging, and I was looking at moving the legs, and I was like, okay, this one wants to move. This one doesn't. Why not? So I did a bit of investigating, and I had a look at all the joints and everything. Basically, I get what's happened. It was a common issue with that figure that the ratchets in the hips were so goddamn tight, and you could not loosen them. They were that tight that if you tried to lift the leg forward and backward, like in a kicking motion, you'd end up actually snapping it off the peg. And that's what happened to this leg. And whoever owned it before had glued it back on in such a way that you could stand the figure, and aesthetically it looked fine. You could not tell it was broken, but you couldn't pose it for anything. You could not do anything with it. And I was like, right, well, it's a common issue with that figure. It's something that happens a lot, so I should have been aware. Buyer's regret, unfortunately. So yeah, you got to be careful and watch out for things like that. Right. Right. Here's another question from Fee. When did you first realize you were female, as in through childhood, etc.? Right. I have answered this before, kind of, on my trans journey video. And as far back as I can remember, like way far back, I remember being about maybe 6 or maybe 7 years old and wanting to dress girly. And then there was kind of little periods throughout my life where I kind of wrestled with the idea, like, do I want to be a woman? Am I in the wrong body? I mean, I've heard of this kind of thing, and I mean, at the time, like, 90s, it was known as being like a transsexual or a transvestite, and I was like, is that me? Am I part of that side of life, or am I just? Is it just like a thing I do? It's just something that pops up every so often. It's not something that is constantly a part of my life, just something that I indulge in every so often. Like a little, like a kink. Is that all? Is that all this is? But then, the more I went on through life, the more I would catch myself doing feminine things and be like, whoa, 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 stop it. Like just certain ways, like the way I'd sit, or the way my hands would move when I was talking. I was like, I've got very effeminate mannerisms. Yeah, I'm a guy with long hair and a beard. What's going on? And it wasn't really until the breakdown of my marriage and everything, and me, as I've said before, coming to live on my own again, I finally came to terms with it. I was like, you know what? If I am, I am. I don't care anymore. I'm on the wrong side of 35. I'm not married. Not legally. Legally, I'm married, but technically, I'm not married. I'm single. I live on my own. I have to keep my own company. Why should I sit around being a miserable man when I can be a happy woman? And that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's just like, yeah. Right, let's see if anybody else has asked any questions. I've got to scroll back down through some of these posts. Here we go. Here's some. Here's one from Kelly. Right, let's have a look. What is the most uncomfortable part of clothing you have worn? So far, it would have to be my heeled boots. Not my little boots, my calf-high boot. They are tight, and they make my feet hurt. So, yeah. Does anyone insist on calling you your old name/nickname? If so, how have you dealt with it? Well, prime example of that actually was on my group page. I think it was about a week or so ago, maybe a little bit longer. My friend Dave, lovely Dave, not seen him in years. I'm hoping to meet up with him when things are easy. Right, sorry, lost connection again. I'm back again. Yes, I was just saying. He said on one of my posts, "Oh, hello, Spike," and I was like, "It's not Spike anymore," as you can clearly see by my profile name and picture. And he said, "Oh, well, Spike's what I know you as, so sorry, I didn't mean to cause offence." I said, "It's all right, but as you can see from my Facebook page, lots changed, So, and after that, he was fine with it. So, majority of people who have said it, it's been a slip because I've not seen them in a while, and they're kind of still getting used to the idea because they've not seen me much. I think if people do it on purpose, bit of a dick move because why? I mean, why do it? There's no need for it, honestly. Why call me by? Why dead name me when there's no need for it? Okay, if you're doing it slightly in joke or you're talking about me in past tense, I'm kind of okay with that. Like when people are saying like, "Oh, I remember this one's me and Spike." If I'm like part of the conversation and they're talking to somebody else, I'm like, yeah, I get it because they're talking about who I was, not who I am now. So I'm kind of okay with that. What is your favorite article of clothing? I don't really have one, to be honest. if you have top surgery, have you got any idea what your perfect size would be? Yes, I'm wearing them. Sorry to slap my titties like that, but yeah, this proportion, this frame that I have currently, this is kind of how I'd like to be going forward. So yeah. Is there anything you don't like? Could be here all night talking about fucking that. What could we as your friends do better / help you? I think you mean do better to help you or do better and help you. Just keep doing what you're doing. Excuse me. Smoker's cough, not COVID. I've not got the bug. Just keep doing what you're doing, guys. I mean, you're there, you're supporting me. Some of you are a bit jokey with certain things, but I let some jokiness slide because I have a bit of a wicked sense of humour myself. So I get where you're coming from with some of it. Some questions and some things are a little bit, you're pushing it. I will slap you if you carry on, kind of thing. But no, just keep going where you're going, guys. Honestly, it means the world to me that everybody's been so accepting of me up to this point. You know, just keep doing it. I'm happy if you guys are happy. That's all I need to say, really. Anyway, I'm going to disappear, my lovely people. I've been here half an hour. I've answered a couple of questions. Or maybe I'll do a couple more before I disappear. See more. One comment. What's the fucking? I'm seeing the bloody comments. Clap. Yeah. Anyway. What collectible do you think is the rarest / unattainable? Nice question there, Fiona. I know personally for me the most unattainable collectible that I want, and I know I will never ever have, and I really want to go to the Transformers Museum just to get a picture with it, or of it, should I say. It pops up if you watch the Toys That Made Us, the Transformers episode. What I'm going to tell you about, it pops up in the background. It is the original prototype for, well, I say it's original prototype. It's one of the production samples that they did but never released. It never got a full release ever. Of the 1986 Transformers the movie Unicron. And as G1 Transformers go, it's as daft as it sounds, because it basically is just a beach ball with arms and legs and a head. It looks daft as shit, but just the thought of it, that piece of history from Transformers, the original, the OG Unicron from the first film, just that is one grail item I will never ever obtain, but I am quite happy for it to be where it's at in the Transformers Museum. I know if you're taking collectibles as a very broad term, as in just things that people collect, if you collect movie memorabilia, and I know this because I watched an episode of, what was it called? Oh, it's a program on Sky. Treasures of Hollywood or something like that. The rarest movie memorabilia that is collectible to this date, and I completely understand why, is an original screen used pair of the original ruby slippers from The Wizard of Oz. They are like, I think a pair of them on this Treasures of Hollywood, I swear a pair of them at auction went for something like nearly $2 million for a private collector. Not like, some museum was buying this fucking thing to put it on display. This was a guy who was literally going to have it like on a shelf in his room. I was like, if you've got that much money to spend on a pair of ruby slippers from a film that's nearly 100 years old, I'm not going to question what the fuck you're going to do with it. I'm really not. You know, just $2 million. There is apparently another pair. I mean, you'll have to Google this in your own time, but apparently there's like a pair out there somewhere that was stolen from some sort of museum. I think it was back in was it the 80s? It's either the 80s or the 90s. And they were stolen. But obviously, how do you sell something that is worth that much and is that pop culturally significant and recognizable? How do you fence that? And apparently they've never been found. Whoever stole them has either still got them, destroyed them, which God forbid if they did that, or they've hidden them and they will never be found because this person's probably like, you know, long forgotten this shit. So, you know, we'll do another one from Fee. If you could time travel, where would you go? Oh, well, being transgender, that's a bit of a fucking, a bit of a minefield, because if I went anywhere in the past, I'd get more judged the further back I went. I think I'd love to. I know a lot of a lot of theoretical physicists say that like traveling forward in time is impossible because it creates an alternate timeline where if you jump forward, the timeline where the point where you end, you've basically been missing for that amount of time. So if you jump forward 10 years, you've been missing 10 years. You've not aged today, but everybody else has. You've just caught up, which is the big plot hole for Back to the Future 2. Sorry to spoil it for you, but that is a plot hole. If Marty went forward, he'd go to the alternate future, like Doc when they did the alternate timeline with Biff. You've gone cross-eyed, haven't you? I know, I get. But basically, I'd love to go forward, say, 30 years, drop in, say hi to my older self, see if I do go full transition. I have the full surgery top and bottom, which I do want. I do want everything. Maybe see how my daughter's doing. See what her life is like when she's 42. Hey, meaning of life. Coincidence. And maybe go a little bit further just to see where we end up maybe go 100 years. See where we are in 100 years' time and just see what's changed. See how people are. See if we're more tolerant of each other, because that's what we all need in this world, isn't it? Tolerance and understanding for each other. That's what we need, people. I'm sorry, I'm going all like philosophical and shit, but like this kind of ties into like questions that people ask me, and it's like, what have I learned being transgender? And I was like, well, I've definitely learned that some people you thought would be cool with things, not so much. Other people that you thought would be really negative have been the most positive people I could think of. And then there's the best kind of people who've just been like, yeah, okay, just do your thing, be you girl. Go Callie, it's your birthday, whatever. Most people don't care. And I'm happy with that. And that's the kind of tolerance I think we should share, not just with our friends, with people we don't know. People like, if you see someone in the street and look like they're suffering, if you can help them, help them. And I don't mean give them money, because this is kind of the double-edged sword of like seeing someone in that kind of situation. Sort of like a homeless person or someone who's on hard times. You see them in the street, and you feel like you don't want to give them money. And I feel like I don't want to give homeless people money, even though I was like kind of homeless for a little while. I'd much rather somebody said, you know, oh, here's a sandwich. Here's a coffee. You know, here, it's a hot day. Have an ice cream. You know, I'd much rather do that than, you know, chuck them like £2 or £3 and say, here, go and get yourself something. Because you don't know whether or not they're going to spend that on food. And that's the big crux. That's the one thing that people see. Is they see how this person thinks, oh yeah, junkie, whatever. They get whatever money I give them, they're going to go and spend it on whatever. Don't give them money. You want to do something nice? Buy them a coffee. Buy them a meal. Ask them if they're okay. You see that they're upset and crying. Say, are you okay? Just be a decent human being. That's what life's all about. Being a nice person. I've learned that. I've learned that the bloody hard way. You know, I spent 36 years trapped in a man's body with a man's, well, a woman's interpretation of a man's view of the world. But now I'm me and I'm happy. And I want to share being happy with other people. And if doing something nice, giving a down and out person a coffee because it's a cold day, or seeing somebody crying and asking them, are you okay? Do you need somebody to sit with you for a minute? You know, if just doing something like that cheers somebody up and makes them think, you know what, well, it ain't such a shit place, is it? And maybe, just maybe, that person happens to not really get the idea of being transgender, and after a conversation with me, their whole viewpoint changes. That would be brilliant. But anyway, I'm going to go now because I've been waffling now for nearly 43 minutes. I've answered a few questions. I hope this gets to I'll just stop. Right fucking there. I hope these lives and these talks and things like that help give my viewers and my subscribers more insight into me as a person. Not just me as the tranny, not just me as the toy reviewer, not just me as Callista Valentine, just me as Callie. Me as everyday, run-of-the-mill, boring, transgender woman sitting in her little flat, watching Netflix, eating Cheetos. That's me. You know, I don't lead a very exciting life. The most exciting thing about me is the journey that I'm currently on. You know, being happy in myself and all of that is where I'm pushing all my energies. So, thank you all for watching. All 2 or 3 of you. I'm sure this will get plenty of views. I mean, my other videos had like, you know, 50 something odd views. I'm sure this will get plenty of views in the backlog and everything. I hope people who have asked questions and I've answered them, I hope that you watch this back. If you do, when like your questions and stuff get answered, feel free to comment on, you know, my answers to you, and you know, maybe that will lead to more questions for my next one, which I will book in a fortnight's time, because Easter weekend I have my daughter, which I'm very much looking forward to. I get her an extra day because of the Easter holidays, so woo, I get to actually go out somewhere and do something with her if the weather holds up. It was nice and warm the other day, and now it's raining again. So anyway, thank you everyone for watching. I've been Callie for Callie's Collectible Reviews. This has been a live question and answer. Oh, and a channel update, yes. Nearly fucking forgot. Channel update. Right. Basically, I won't go into too many details, but I lost a friend recently. I hadn't seen him in a while. Last time I'd seen him was like 2019. And I didn't talk to him as much as I would have liked to then. I was the host of the night. I was kind of flitting about between everybody. I was still Spike at that point, but I was still quite a social butterfly, just moving around, saying hello to everybody. and I didn't speak to him as much as I would have liked to. So I kind of took a week off after learning that news, because it was just like every day it came to do it, I kind of stood in front of the mirror and I was putting my makeup on, and I was just like, yes, I haven't got the effort for this. So I took some time off. Then, because I took some time off and I'd been a bit lazy, I started getting a bit dysphoric. Facial hair started coming through quite aggressively. And I was just like, oh dear, we're here again. I'm beating myself up again. So it was just... so I've kind of been up and down with it. And I'm working on a new schedule now. I used to do Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Because I have my daughter on Fridays, on the days when she's over and I'm supposed to be filming, I find it very rushed, and I kind of mess things up, where I really want to take my time with these videos, you know, to kind of get the right beats down and get it done as I need to. So I'm going to do a new schedule now, which instead is going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays. Before they were my days off, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now I'm having a 2-day week with 3 days off on your weekends. Woo! But I think that will give me more time to kind of work on what I'm doing. Basically, what I'm intending to do is maybe record and edit and add a few things to my videos as I'm going. And I will do that sort of Mondays for Tuesdays upload, and then Wednesdays for Thursdays upload. So I will still be working. It will really be Friday, Saturday, Sunday where I have my days off. So I get weekends. But anyway, so that's basically the channel update. It's just a little case of why I've not been around. I've had a lot of issues to deal with, a lot of things to come to terms with, a lot of things to really just kind of nail down. I say once I hit maybe 100 subscribers, think about doing Patreon. Till then, don't know. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I'm going to go now. You take care, and I shall see you in a fortnight's time. Remember, as always, for those of you who are on my Facebook page, feel free to go to my my wall, drop me questions, things like that. I'm quite happy to take them and answer them here on YouTube. So thanks for watching, and I shall catch you next time. Love ya. Bye bye. Mwah.